Right. Actually, when I look at the notes, I realize that we are almost the end of the concentration meditation or the samatha bhavana.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realize that there are a few things to discuss. I think another two things I haven't made a note yet. There's one thing is, what is the benefit of practicing of meditation apart from the jhanas? Yeah, and that's the one thing. And then, how do we know that among these 40 kinds of meditation, which one should practice?
That's I'm very interested.
Yeah, okay. So that is two things. And then there's another two things about, I think we already discussed a couple of months ago in relation to the categories of the forms, which sign and how do we practice. Yeah. So how to progress in practice. Okay, but we will go back again probably next week. For today, first of all, I will speak a little bit on the benefit of concentration meditation, okay, apart from the jhanas. So we are not going back to the jhanas, okay, unless you want to add on or want to know more bit on jhanas, okay? Yeah. So in the suttas in Anguttara Nikaya, one of the suttas, Buddha mentioned that development of a concentration also can lead to the liberation, okay? And then the first development of a concentration is to attain the jhanas, and that jhanas not only the 4 but the 8 jhanas, okay? Arupa jhanas. And then the second is having a brighter, alert mind, okay? So that's the benefit of it. And then the third is having a clear vision, okay? A view, an insight in it. And having this mindfulness, alertness is there. And then the last one, you're coming out from the jhanas and then stepping into understanding the arising, remaining, and then fading away. Okay? So you're coming out from the jhanas and then contemplating on the characteristics of the 3 characteristics, the natural law. It's called Upada, Titi, and Bhanga. Okay? So Upada means arising, Titi means remaining for a while, persisting, and then Bhanga means fading away or destruction. So that's the last part of the development of a concentration, and to do that you have to come out from it. Okay? You have to come out from it. And also, when we talk about the meditation, be here and now. Yeah, we normally say be here and now. When we go into deeper, what does it mean be here and now? Then basically that is not just being aware of this present moment, abiding in jhanas, also regarded as being here and now. Okay? Abiding in jhanas. So the highest stage of being here and now is the attainment of a highest jhana and abiding in that jhana, in that very moment. So that means you are there in that very moment with the object for all the time. Okay? So that's the being here and now, in a highest form. Now, once we have developed this concentration up to the fourth jhanas, which is also the highest level of be here and now, and unification of the mind is that moment, being a one with the object. And that moment, there are the qualities that will develop in us, and that's called the supernatural powers. Yeah, supernatural powers. Let me find that word, the proper word. It's called supernormal power. Okay, not supernatural. It's called supernormal power. Supernormal power, and that's called Iddhi or Abhinya. Okay, Iddhi, and that's a Iddhi.
And we're saying that's beyond the fourth jhana?
After, once you have achieved the four jhanas, and these qualities will generate. Supernormal powers. And there are 6. Number 1, is that okay to write in Pali first, or
Yes.
just the English?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So this Iddhi, it's a supernormal power. The first one, Iddhi, so okay, let me check. I think it should be 6, but there's only 4. Is it 5? Let's give it here. Okay, only 5. So I was wrong. Actually, there is another one. Should be here. Dibba Chakshu. but in the scripture doesn't say, in a commentary doesn't say this one, Chakku Dhatu. Jnana. Okay, so Iddhi, supernatural powers. And then Dibba Sota means divine ear. And Dibba Chakku, divine eye, divine eyes. Cheto Pariyana, knowing others' mind. Or penetration. Puppe Nivasanusatinyana, knowing the previous life. Or past life, knowing past lives. And then Sattanam Chuttupatayana, the rebirth and dying and rebirth, passing away and rebirth of beings. Okay, so these are the 5, in fact it should be 6, okay? But the book Path of Purification talks only 5. And these are the super normal powers one could get once we have developed the samatha, concentration. Okay?
I read past in India, yogis were able to put a seed in a pot
Uh-huh.
and they would concentrate to look and the seed would grow in
Mhm.
front of their eyes.
Yes, and that's the supernatural power. Yeah? So within that supernatural power, the first one, there is a different level of powers. Being a one, you can be many, and you can make yourself to be very tiny or bigger, or you can transform to be other animals or somebody else, and also ability to, like you said, disappear, and those sort of things you can achieve in that, the first supernatural power.
Does that include the ability to be in one place 1 minute and
Yes, that's
be in
as
another
well.
place another?
Yeah, replacing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and being one or many, like that.
And create rain.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Tenzin Palmer
Yeah.
spoke to us about.
Yeah.
She said she'd witnessed it.
Yeah, so these things you will be able to perform. Okay, and in order to have those powers, first you have to attain the 4 jhanas, up to 4 jhanas, and then all the defilements, the greed, hatred and delusion, or the asavas, been subsided. Okay, you have completely subsided, pushed it away, and the hindrances been completely under the seat. Okay, mind is so focused, stable, unshaken. Okay, and then mind is very unified, and that moment, then these you will get. Okay, now in order to have Iddhi, or the first supernatural power, one has to develop the called the kasinas that we have studied, right? Kasinas, on up to 8 kasinas, from 1 earth kasina until the 8. So it's a white kasinas. Once we have worked with that one of these, and then mind become, as I explained, one unified and then able to attain the 4 jhanas, then you will have it. Okay, and then you not only having just one object, you're working with only one object, you will get it. No, you have to use different objects in different forms, and you're playing with these objects and playing with your concentration. And once you have played so many times, then it comes.
Am I right, Ajahn? So once one achieves such a state, then they make a wish, and that wish comes true. I mean, they wish to do something.
Yes,
They use
yes.
their willpower.
Yes, the
In
willpower.
that state
Yeah,
of
yeah,
mind.
yeah. Once you have achieved that level, then you are making it. Yeah? So you are making it to different forms. Yeah. So that's the mind power that you can transform into different forms, different ways. Okay? So in that way, you are playing. Let's say you attain the jhana, first jhana, by concentrating on the earth kasina, okay? And then you can extend that jhanas up to 4th, okay? And then return back as well. So you have ability to go in order, and then also ability to reverse yourself within the same object. Kasina, same kasina within the one object, and that's the one play. And the second, there are many plays. So, but again, another play is you're playing with one kasina, having a one object, right? One kasina, and then practicing, you attain the first jhana, and rather than you're extending to the second jhana, you move your object from kasina, the earth kasina, to something else, or maybe fire kasina, or maybe color kasinas. So you move, and then you are having another first jhana with the object of the next object, like that. So you're changing, you're playing. It's like you're playing a tennis. And that way, actually, a Buddha also did before he passed away, before he entered the parinibbana. On his last day, when Buddha lie down, and then he didn't say anything, and his breath went so shallow that Venerable Ananda thought that now Buddha entered the parinibbana. So Venerable Ananda went and talked to Venerable Kassapa, Mahakassapa, that whether the Buddha entered the parinibbana or not. And then Mahakassapa went into the jhanas. Yeah? So he went into the jhanas to see the Buddha's mental state. And then he realized that the Buddha was going from first jhana up to the 8, and then from 8 he was reversing back. Yeah? So he was climbing one in order and reverse. So he was going up and coming back, going up and coming back. And then at the end, when he went up to the 8, the nor perception or not perception, that one, and then he entered the parinibbana. And then Venerable Mahakassapa told Ananda that now Buddha entered the parinibbana. That's why this record is there. Or simply because the Venerable Mahakassapa went into the same state of the mind of the Buddha. And that's how the order goes. Okay? Now the second, Dibba Sota Dhatu Yana. Yeah? Dibba here means the divine. Yeah? Sota means hearing. Dhatu means elements. And Yana means the knowledge. Yeah? So that's how it is. Dibba, divine hearing. And this is divine hearing is not just the hearing of a human's talk, but also all beings, including the divines or the deities in the heavens And then ability to hear far and near. So that's why there are quite a number of examples that when the divine beings were visiting the Buddha, some of the divine beings were reluctant to come and see the Buddha. Then Buddha hear that they are reluctant to come and see the Buddha simply because of their ego. And then Buddha went into their place and taught the Dhamma. Okay? And the beautiful story that comes with the New Year, Thai New Year. One of the young boy, he was very talented, and Lord Brahma comes down and asks him a question about blessings in the morning, blessings in the afternoon, and blessings in the evening. What are the blessings? Okay, in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. And if you can tell me, you are saved. But if you can't, your head will be chopped within 7 days. And this boy was very talented, and yet didn't know how to find out the solution. What is the blessings in the morning, afternoon, and the evening? And he went on searching for 7 days. On the last day, he gave up. Okay, now I cannot find the solution. Tomorrow morning, it's okay. Let him chop my head. And he was just lying down under the tree. And when he was lying down under the tree, the badger or eagle, they were talking on the tree that tomorrow we don't have to go far away to find the food. Devpal, he is going to be killed tomorrow, so we have a fresh fruit. Then the female eagle asks, why is that? And then he said, because he doesn't know the answer for this, what he was asked for. And then she asked, and do you know that? Oh, why not? I do know. And he told his wife. So eagle told his eagle wife that what is the blessing. And then he was sleeping and listening. So he had this divine ear, able to know what these two birds are talking. And that's how he saved. He saved himself, but in the meantime, that's how the whole cosmology started. 7 days and then 12 months kind of things. So this is also one of the stories.
So I was going to ask, divine ears extends not just to deities, but also to any living being.
Yes, yeah. So like, if we achieve that, then we will be able to listen even far away. Far away, like that. And again, Dibba Chakhu Dhatu Jnana, so that is having a divine eyes.
My mom told me on the phone today that once she stayed in the empty house, my brother's house, and there was a big, like grasshopper sitting on the curtain. Because there wasn't anybody in the room, my mom started talking to this grasshopper. Because she just wanted to talk to something, because she was lonely. And she said the grasshopper replied to her.
Good.
And she remembers that now for many months.
That is good. At least she has got some comfort.
Yeah.
So, okay, now the third one, Cheto Pariyaya Yana. Yeah? That's simply the penetration towards the other's mind. So it's understanding the other's mind, knowing the other's mind. And that basically, you sit here and then someone who is sitting next to you, you know what they are thinking of. Right? And that, if you are not clever enough, then that can be fighting you too. Right? Because of that knowing. Right? So
I sometimes could be at home and I would have a sensation that in this very moment I feel like two people who I know talk about me and I can guess what they are talking about.
in your presence, or
No, away from me. I am at home and those people, let's say, at work. It comes
as a vibe.
Yes.
Yeah, but that is also a possibility. And if you remember, I told you a couple of incidents that about a few years ago, when I pass, when somebody is walking towards me, just looking at their face, I can see what they are thinking of, and that sort of a knowledge. And that's again still very gross. But other knowledge is that, like in Thailand, there are quite a number of masters. As soon as you enter, they know what you're thinking of. And sometimes monks will give a talk, but they will not tell you in front of you what you are thinking, but they will transform into the talks.
I experienced that. It was very powerful.
Okay, so that is that's called a Cheto Pariyaya Jnana. And then if you look at, in my opinion, I think most of the forest monks, they have developed this ability, and with that ability they can control the mass. Although they do not talk much, talk only few bits, and it just hits their mind, and then that's how they stays. Okay? So that's the Cheto Pariyaya Jnana. And then thinking about the Cheto Pariyaya Jnana, Buddha was using that a lot. Right? So that's why when we read the suttas, then sometimes you can see, or even when we are reading the stories of the disciples, the time of the Buddha, then you can see Buddha was channeling to one particular person within the hundreds of people, and that's how that person became enlightened. So that's simply because he was hitting their minds and then able to eradicate all the defilements. And that's the very powerful one, right? And then the fourth one, Pubbē Nivāsāna Satijana, and that's knowing your past lives. Knowing your past lives. And which, again, some monks can go back up to 10 lives that I have known. Up to 10 lives of their own.
So this is knowing your own past lives.
Yeah, but if you have developed in a quite extensively, then that means you know everyone's as well. Everyone's as well. And then if you are going to be enlightened, then you have to have that knowledge first. Without having that knowledge, you will not be able to understand the cause and effects. That's why when the Buddha enlightened, the first knowledge he got was that knowledge. And with that understanding of his own past lives, he was able to match the jigsaws, that when this life I was this, and then dying from there I was reborn in this, and then in this life I am having these troubles because of I have done that in my past lives. And then with that effect, now I'm having this effect. Okay? So that's how he understood the cause and effect in very, very detailed, because he was going back eons of his life, and he was able to connect until the effect of that first cause, probably one of the lives, ended by simply not performing it again, or changing his habit patterns. And he was able to understand that you can end your own karma, by changing your behaviors. So that's why Buddha always says that past is not the problem and future is not the problem either, but what you are doing now, that changes the future. So that's why the whole of Buddha's teachings is not about based on the karma, karma and the reaction. It is not based on someone's, but it is based on our own effort, that you can change. That's why it is called Viryavada. Viryavada means with your own effort you can change your destiny. So the destiny is on your own hands. That's why Buddha mentioned about be your own island, be your own boss, be your own light. So those things Buddha spoke simply on the basis of that you can change your destiny. And that's coming from that knowledge. So that's called Pubbe Nivasa Anusati. Pubbe means previous, Nivasa means living, okay? Anusati means following. Jnana means the knowledge. Okay? And the last one, Sattanam Chittupadhayanam. And now here, this one is knowing the rest of all other beings, including the divines. Whatever beings in entire this world cycle, within this 31 planes of existence, okay? He knows. Once somebody dies from here, he will be reborn in that place, like that. And then once you die from here, you will be, that person or that being will be reborn in somewhere else, in other places. Okay?
So this is past, present and future.
Yes. Okay. But the last one, number 5th one, only present and a future. Present and a future. So it's a passing away here and then arising, where you're going to be reborn.
Am I right? Because of this, I heard that some Tibetan monk, when they die, they choose where to be born next time.
Yeah. Making a wish. Right? There is one sutta in Majjhima Nikaya as well. I forgot what is the sutta called. You can make a wish where to be born and what to be, what you will be, and then how you want your resolution or your wish to come true. So let me find out the sutta and then we'll tell you about that. There are, I think, about 5 or 6 principles that you have to keep in your mind, and then you're making an effort to make that resolution, making a vow, and with making that vow, that becomes true. Yeah. So that Buddha mentioned in Majjhima Nikaya about it. Yeah. So that vow will come true. Right. So these are the, in a way, 6. Right. 6 supernormal powers you could get if you are really into the samatha meditation. And again, we have to remember that this is not the path to the liberation. When we achieve these, you can entertain, but should not be attached to it. Should not be attached to it. The very moment when you attach to, and then it will just decrease. So the whole power can be increased and can be decreased too. Okay? It is based on your purity and your practice. Your purity and your practice. Like we can take the example of Devadatta, Buddha's cousin. When first few years of his being a monk, he was so dedicated to practice meditation, and until he was able to attain some of the powers. It's called abhinyas, mostly from here, the iddhi, the supernatural powers. And because of that attainment, he was indulged with it. And then somehow he misused it, and then gradually his power diminished. And then he caused a lot of troubles, and then at the end he repented simply because of that. And then similarly, if you look at the lots of ascetics, or even those who are any religion, those who've been into the practice in taking what's called solitude, and then in practicing, reciting, or in the name of the God, or in the name of the something, or their own practices, they also develop some sort of these powers beyond that the human, general human beings know. And then later on, once they achieve it, they misuse it, and that's how the black magics are there. Black magics are there, and that simply they achieved it at first, and then they misuse it simply in the sake of having more benefit, material gain in this life, or material fame, and with this their power just diminish gradually. So like that, it can be increased and it can be decreased too. So
can I ask you about number 4 again? I think you said knowing own past lives and or others if well developed. Then I thought you said must have or experience that knowledge.
yes.
Of cause and effect of our own efforts that change our own destiny. I thought you said to progress to liberation.
Yes. I said, in order to understand the cause and effect, and that is the foundation for the liberation, you have to understand this knowledge about the past.
Okay. But not become attached to it
Yes.
as a practice in itself or an experience in itself.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Let me find it here. So it says he direct his mind towards the past lives, and he can remember hundreds of thousands or eons of a world cycle. Okay? So he is able to understand that, and then with that he knows in which condition, which family, which kind of a food, which what name and sort of things he was able to tell. And then when the Buddha became enlightened, the first knowledge Buddha acquired was that knowledge. So he was able to go back into eons. I think one of the suttas mentioned he was able to go back into 91 eons, 91 or 93 something.
92.
92, yeah. So
Big bands.
that many eons he was that he mentioned. That doesn't mean that long he was able to do, but he just mentioned of his one of the stories from that life. Okay? And so my understanding is because of he understood his previous lives, he was able to calculate that why I am suffering in this life because what I have done in one of these lives, and that's I'm having this effect. But in the meantime, that effect faded away simply because I changed my life cycle or life behavior, and with that I was able to cleanse. So with this, that's why when we know that, means we know the teachings of a cause and effect. We know the dependent origination very completely. And without understanding that, we will not be able to comprehend on a dependent origination, because that's talking about cause and effects from the past and then the present, and then how you're creating towards the future. Okay? So we will be able to understand that. And that's why Buddha first attained this knowledge. Yeah? And then the second knowledge he attained was the Chuttupadayana. Right? Understanding when somebody dies, what happens? When somebody dies, what happens? And then the last one he attained was eradication of all the asavas. That's why I call it asavakayayana. So he was able to destroy all the greed, hatred and delusion, which are the main root cause of everything. And that very moment he was enlightened. And that enlightenment was, he summarized into Four Noble Truths. And that's how the Buddha's fundamental teachings become the Four Noble Truths. Yeah? And within this Four Noble Truths, if you look at it again, only the fourth Noble Truth was his findings. The rest of other three was already there. And to link with these three, Dukkha, Samudaya and Nirodha, these three, again you have to have the knowledge of these previous lives, and only then you know how you have come across and how you have ended it. And that's how he found the path. Right? That's why that's called the Eightfold Noble Path. Yeah? And that's how. Okay. It's 9 o'clock. Do you want to continue or you want to keep it for next time? Okay, this is about how to introduce which kind of a meditation towards what kind of a temperament.
Is it long topic?
It's up to us.
It will be.
So there are few things I have mentioned here, how to check people's temperaments. So in that case, we'll leave it for next time then, okay?
Remember, I go away to Tasmania on Monday, so I'll be away for 2 weeks,
Okay.
2.5 weeks. Lena will come, I'm sure.
Okay, we will study something else.
I will borrow her notes.
Okay. Maybe we will concentrate on something else. Wait until you come back.
It's up to you. I'll let you judge.
Okay.
I was told previously I need to concentrate on death meditation.
Okay.
Somebody assessed me and told me.
Okay.
Was it a monk?
It was a forest monk.
Okay. So when you study this temperament, 6 temperaments, you can judge yourself. Which one should I practice?
I look forward to
Which one I should practice as a main, and then secondary will be others. Okay, like that. So you can check yourself. Am I this? Am I that? Or am I doing this? Am I doing that? So you're checking your temperaments, and checking this temperaments also helps us to see our own self, our own habits and our own mindset, what I am doing, like self-testing techniques. Okay, so in that case we will study next time the temperaments then, okay? And we finish with this abhinyas, or the activity, supernormal powers for today. Right? Anything you want to ask on it, or if not, then let's do the loving kindness meditation to finish that. Okay. few coarse breaths deeper into lungs and belly, and releasing this coarse breath and relaxing. And with that breath, relaxing yourself from top to bottom. And gently settling yourself down with the help of the primary object related to the breath, in-breath and out-breath. Understanding the rising, falling, and rising, falling together. Aware of the in-breath and out-breath in a calm and peaceful way. Ardently being mindful and comprehending whatever arising and whatever fading away. Having no attachment towards any good or pleasant sensations or anything that you perceive, or having no aversion towards anything that is not happening as you wish. And simply settling down, grounding yourself. If you can concentrate on the breath, knowing that concentration, that conscious mind that is able to concentrate on the breath. And if you can't concentrate, again, understanding, realizing this state of the mind that unable to concentrate on the breath. Do not generate aversion towards not able to concentrate, or do not be feeling happy or joy of able to concentrate. Whatever is this state, knowing that it is. Ardently having a full comprehension of the activities and aware of it. Reflecting a few moments on tonight's discussion, activity or supernatural powers that one can develop through the development of a concentration. bring your attention to your body and to your hands to practice the loving kindness meditation. So relaxing yourself and aware of the physical body presence here, sensing, feeling the sensations throughout the body. And bring your attention to the hands, aware of any sensations in your hands. And bring your attention to your heart. And generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself. May I be well, may I be happy, may I be at peace, may I be free from suffering. May I be free from hurtfulness, hatred. May I be free from calamities. May I be free from troubles of body and mind, and able to maintain my happiness. And whatever beings there are, visible and invisible beings, may they be happy, may they be at peace, may they be free from suffering, may they be free from troubles of body and mind, may they be free from all kinds of calamities, may they only achieve happiness. Whatever beings there are, those who are in suffering, not well, not happy, may they be well, may they be happy, may they be well. Those who are happy and well, may their happiness and well-being increase. And whatever merits that I have accumulated, may all beings rejoice in it. May this be cause to liberate themselves. May they be able to liberate. May be liberated. May all beings be happy. As you hear the gong coming out from meditation and reflecting a few minutes. Let's pay respect to the Buddha. Araham Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhaṃ Bhagavantaṃ Abhivademi Sawakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅgho Saṅgham Namami. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening. Good night.